Good morning, everyone. There's so much flying around in the media about Andre de Ruyter at the moment, and a lot of people always want to decide if he was a friend or a foe. And at the end of the day, I always say, look at the evidence, and then you decide if he was your friend or your foe, and that'll depend on whether you believe in the New World Order ideas that renewable energy will save the planet, which is certainly not the case, because firstly, those energy sources, the means of harvesting them are not renewable at all. Solar panels are not renewable, wind turbines are not renewable, and we're experiencing endless trouble around the world because of the way we are harnessing the wind as well as the sun. But people will not give you that narrative. They won't give you the technical truth. And de Ruyter was hell-bent on serving the international interests. And the African National Congress put him where he was within Eskom. They appointed him a CEO. They clapped hands. They were very happy that he was going to play in the Cyril Ramaphosa camp, and not in the Gwede Mantashe camp or the Jacob Zuma camp or whatever you want to call the other camp. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, the African National Congress cannot serve the interests of the people of South Africa, neither can any of the parties in Parliament. We need to change the governance system. So Andre de Ruyter gave an interview where he spoke to Anneke Larsen, and where he spilled his guts, and that is his testimony. Now, I have a huge problem with many of the ideals that he believed in. I just don't believe in them in the same way. So I disagree with him fundamentally on many things, and this is maybe because he doesn't have the technical know-how. He has an ideology that he believes in, and I've spoken about these ideologies at length on this channel and how problematic they actually can be, and how the international grandstanding and brainwashing and mandates given to mainstream media houses, how they can just pummel rubbish into people's minds that don't have that technical know-how. What we need in this country is to start building power stations that have base load capacity if we want to maintain industry. And if you look at the fourth industrial revolution, which is what de Ruyter was trying to get Eskom up for, in that fourth industrial revolution, we will not have industry. We will have AI running everything. It'll be computer programs, it'll be cameras, etc., monitoring, tracking and tracing us. And in this dystopia that they'll create, they will say that we will keep you safe in smart cities where there will be no more crime. But the one thing that you'll have to give up is your freedom. And de Ruyter certainly maybe did not understand that this is what he was promoting without even knowing about it. And at the end of the day, de Ruyter leaving Eskom makes no difference to load shedding because he did nothing about it. And in his interview, he actually said that that's perhaps the one place where he failed. And he admits this because he did nothing about it. This was never his intent. It wasn't his script given to him as he became CEO of Eskom. He just needed to push this new world order agenda. And this is not a conspiracy theory, people. It's a conspiracy of note. That is not hidden anymore. You are being told about it at the World Economic Forum and many other places, at Davos. You are being told about it at COP27 that happened in Egypt. And as Pravin Gordhan said, and I'm not saying that he's a saint at all, they are all a bunch of crooks. But as Pravin Gordhan said, Andre de Ruyter was swanning all over the world instead of being at the power station solving the load shedding issues. And I can tell you the African National Congress did not expect things to go as badly as they did. And they need to get elected, and their handlers are making them do everything to destroy Eskom. They don't even understand it. They are too stupid, too dumb. Don't give them the credit that many people give them, that they are so well organized and all the rest. That's not the case. The people that handle them, the people that teach them how to steal and loot, are not within the African National Congress. They have been taught very, very well by people overseas how to do this, how to steal our coffers dry, how to destabilize the country. And yes, if the African National Congress wasn't there to do all of these things, the next organization would have done exactly the same. So at the end of the day, we need to change the governance system. We need to change the constitution so we can change our electoral act, not according to the current bill that was agreed to by Parliament, but by a whole new system where we can elect our leaders directly. And that will mean that the people of the country need to trust themselves to make decisions around individuals. A lot of education will need to take place. It'll mean many, many things, but it'll be a much better system than what we have at the moment. And many people are pushing for this already. It's already in the mainstream. Certainly in the mainstream media, mainstream people in the public eye that have asked for this, including the Zondo Commission and many other commissions. And because if Cyril Ramaphosa signs this new electoral bill, if he signs that, a committee has to be formed that actually reforms the electoral system. But all that is done is bought us more time at the end of the day with regards to the Constitutional Court judgment, or so they hope, because I believe there will be court cases. And this ties in with what is happening in Eskom right now. They have this dilemma in Eskom where the Ruyter didn't do his job, which was to try and stop load shedding. What the Ruyter didn't know is that nothing you can do right now, besides building new capacity, is going to stop load shedding. Though, unless we are willing to have the political will to supply good quality coal to these power stations. And if we supply good quality coal, we will be able to gain almost all the stages of load shedding that we have at the moment. 5,000 to 6,000 megawatts we will be able to gain if we supply good quality coal to those coal-fired power stations. If the coal gets wet, it's a different story. But you know, to put bad quality coal into those boilers, you damage the tubes. There's many problems that come from that. So we can do that immediately. The government hasn't got the will. They are making lots of money out of the diesel being supplied to Ruyter and Ankerlig. They are also making lots of money out of the coal exports. And it's international handlers that make this happen. And this is what people don't want to say. And you know, the Oppenheimers fund the Democratic Alliance. It's not all the people on the ground. And you have to ask yourself, why do they do this? What interests will the DA look after? So the official opposition is not an answer either. I was there. I know. It's just a sham. It's a show, people. They put on shows all the time. It is fake. It is fraud. And we need to firstly realize that this is the problem and then do something to make a difference. And Andre de Ruyter certainly did not make a difference to load shedding, which was his mandate. He focused on other things. It was easier for him to do that because it's something that he was more comfortable with. But it was not what the country needed. The next person will not be able to do that function either. Stop load shedding. It's the politicians that need to have the will to make the decisions to help us, because Eskom cannot make those decisions. We could be building nuclear power stations at this stage. We could be building gas pipelines to the Ankerlig and Ruyter power stations and save loads of money. The infrastructure is already there for many of these projects, and all we need to do is to start. The political will isn't there, and you need to ask yourself what future you are staring at because of these people's unwillingness to do something. And at the end of the day, us as the South African public, we are the highest arbiters in the current voting system, electoral system. We decide what future we want. So we are fully to blame. Legally under our constitution, we are to blame for our decisions. And this has been made clear in many court cases where the judges have said, well, the people elected the African National Congress, and therefore this is the situation we find ourselves in. The Concord cannot force us to elect good people. We have to do that. This is a situation we find ourselves in, and this is why many of the secessionist movements are gaining traction around the country, because they think that is an easy out. And certainly I can tell you that the international benefactors from these secessionist movements. They are playing people like a fiddle. People are desperate. People are leaving the country. Many people are bunkering down, hoping that they can survive what is coming. But I can tell you, the only way we are going to solve this problem, and in the end, see that Andre de Ruyter was just another person among many that made no difference, is for us to make the difference. If we don't make the difference, we will not have a future. It is that simple. We have till 2029 to make this happen, and to have already changed the governance system. If we don't do it by then, we will not make it. Thank you very much. Please share this with your friends and family.